You're cool, the engine's hot, the girl's gorgeous, a tank full of gas and an open road. The rest is up to you. And apart from the forced time limit and the hugely out of proportion image on the poster, the tagline was pretty much spot on. On September the 20th this year, 30 years will have passed since the original Outrun arcade release. 30 years, can you believe that? It's a game series which is instantly recognisable the world over and shows off exactly what Sega used to be great at, creating iconic, fast-paced games. Now, like so many other people, my experience of Outrun starts here. Oh no, sorry, that's just where I wished it had started. In reality, it began here. Yep, released in 1987 by US Gold, this was Probe Software's Sinclair ZX Spectrum port of the classic arcade game. I say port, it's more of a fraught, as in fraught with problems. Aha! Although in a way, starting with this version was a blessing, for I had yet to experience the joys of a high-speed arcade sensation. So to this end, I accepted the Spectrum version for what it was, a playable, if jerky, car racing game. I mean, I knew about the arcade version, and I boldly played the Spectrum version with a sense of pride that my humble 8-bit technology could pull off a feat of arcade gaming with such ease. I mean, when you look at the Spectrum version, it still has all the basic elements. Ferrari Testarossa, or a close approximation, check. Outrun music, check. I had a 128K Spectrum, so it played in-game, but there was also an accompanying audio tape with the arcade music for 48K owners. Roadside props, check. Wistful background scenery, check. Traffic, check, including tiny little trucks. And just look at how big they were advertised in the preview. Just a little bit out then. Irritating tyre squeal, check. Female passenger, check. Male driver, check. Come on, this was the 80s. Sexism was rife. But for all that, it played a little like a bag of mangled dog food leftovers. Of course, I didn't mind this. The excitement of passing those tiny trucks, recognisable German vehicles, and being able to choose your route, something C64 owners missed out on, was a breeze. Almost like a passing breeze. The tape loads between each level were less enjoyable, especially when you had run out of time and had to return to the first level, but it was clearly Outrun nonetheless, and these were the sacrifices you were used to if you wanted an arcade port in the 80s. My next experience of Outrun was provided by my cousin's LCD dashboard style toy. This was like a Tiger handheld but with a steering wheel and a piece of plastic for a Ferrari bonnet. Much like real life, it was limited but played probably about as well as the Spectrum version. Roll on a few years and we land at my Sega Master System. Outrun was once again on my agenda, although not the 3D stereoscopic version. But the Master System conversion did not disappoint, well, not much anyway. This version was also released in 1987, but I didn't get a Master System until the early 90s. Now, it should be stated that by now, I'd had my hands on the arcade cabinet in various forms, and a home computer port was never really going to cut it, but some would come close. Released in 1986 and developed by Sega AM2, the arcade version was a thing of wonder. Its fast, smooth pace requires some intense driving skill, yet the scenery and feel of the game is somewhat relaxing. The multiple branching routes, although present in most ports, are revealed as the wonderful concept they are here, with drastically different scenery and obstacles on each section. The definable music was such a simple yet compelling feature. It made the whole experience feel more lifelike, just like selecting a track in your Datsun Cherry before cruising off to your local Burger King. As for my favourite track, I like them all, equally I think, but each track seems appropriate for different moods. Splash Wave is quintessential for times when you really want to blast your previous course times. Passing Breeze is ideal for the more relaxed times when you just fancy a drive in the sunshine, and Magical Sound Shower is perfect for racing stress away. The arcade machine was a thing of wonder, and I haven't even got onto the sit-down cabinets or even the moving cabinets and the cohesive driving experience they offered yet. But that's something you really have to experience in the glorious flesh. But it wasn't the first racing game to feature a sit-down cabinet, nor was it the first racing game to feature a third-person perspective. Both of those accolades went to Sega's earlier arcade racing game, Turbo, released in 1981. Anyway, back to the Master System version. You can see that Sega's developers took a different approach to their other 8-bit computer ports. Where most ports tried to emulate the look and dimensions of the arcade, the Master System version was designed to play as well on the hardware as possible, packed into a 256K ROM cartridge. To this extent, the Ferrari is smaller and most of the screen is taken up by Sky. This means less processing is required by the Z80 processor, and ultimately that the pace is fast and pretty darn close to the arcade experience. There's even road undulation, which adds an important depth to the game, literally. We've also got some fairly close renditions of the original music. Some of the tunnel sections are pretty fit-inducing, but as long as you can twitch your way through these sections, it's about as good a version as you can hope to have on 8-bit hardware. I spent a lot of time playing this version, at least until I got my hands on the Atari ST port, developed by Probe and released by US Gold once again. And I kinda wished I hadn't. I mean, I spent a lot of time playing it, but I'm not sure how much of that time I actually enjoyed. I think I persisted as it was Outrun, and this was my new 16-bit shiny hardware. The game takes a little while to load up from disk, and then you're presented with a menu system which you need to navigate by mouse, which is irritating, especially if you haven't got a mouse hooked up. The gameplay is controlled by joystick, and playing Outrun with a joystick is never as satisfying as a control pad. The music was enjoyable, I must say, and the graphics were chunky and bold, but something was off. That Testarossa with its Atari ST FM inspired number plate just looked a bit plain, a bit Tonka toy, and the frame rate was like wading through jerky mustard. It's playable, but when you realise that the road forks are missing from this version, just like the Commodore 64 version, but with about less than half the frame rate, you just lose it. And so, we move on to the Megadrive version. The Megadrive version was about as good as you could hope for a home port to get. I mean, it had its problems, but it was pretty darn good. Produced by Hertz and released in 1991, pretty much everything you wanted was present, including gritty Megadrive adaptations of the music and almost faithful speech sampling whenever you pass a checkpoint.
Checkpoint!
Got a chunky Ferrari, roadside obstacles aplenty, varying backgrounds, pleasant differences between stages, and other vehicles which are almost in scale to your high-performance car. This was the most enjoyable home port of Outrun I had experienced, probably even to this day, which is good because that's pretty much where my Outrun journey finished. Oh no, wait. I also had the privilege of owning the MS-DOS version after this. It's safe to say that that experience didn't quite hold up. The car is tiny, the graphics aren't too bad, I mean the trucks are the right size and we've got VGA graphics, which isn't bad for a 1989 release, but listen to this. Yeah. Those bum notes, all 763 of them, from this Sega-developed release I might add, was enough for me to stop playing Outrun before those relaxing memories were tainted by cringe-worthy PC speaker sounds, jolting me awake in icy cold night panics. So I sat and just waited for something better, something more soothing. And it came. My next experience of a classic game wouldn't arrive for some 15 years later with the Xbox 360 take on Outrun 2, in the guise of Outrun Online Arcade. Now this game is every bit as addictive as the Megadrive version of the original, and it's a game I play on a regular basis to this day. It manages to capture the high-speed elegance of the original, but in that relaxing zone-out fashion which we all came to love. There have been various ports, releases, conversions of Outrun over the decades, including Turbo Outrun, Battle Outrun, Outrun Europa, Outrun 2019, but for me these remain the essential gaming experiences of this take on the racing game genre. It's one game I'm certain we'll still be talking about in another 30 years. Unless, of course, we're all dead by then, which is looking increasingly likely. Anyway, thanks for watching this video on my experiences of Outrun. There's plenty more videos I've done in the past, there will be plenty more in the future, I hope. Click one below, contribute to my Patreon if you want to support the channel, subscribe, share this video, or just leave, it's entirely up to you. In any case, thank you very much for watching, and good night.